In today's webinar, my colleague Louise, she is English tutor. She will walk you through the complete exam preparation, the syllabus, the exam boards, and what exactly the parents and the students can focus on. Coming to her background, she's working with me many years, I guess, and she has developed wonderful resources for PiAcademy, which includes 11 plus exam English past papers, comprehension papers, creative writing, and the video courses. She is a paper setter, paper examiner for conducting all the mock exams in PiAcademy. Coming to my background, my name is Preeti and I'm the founder of PiAcademy. I look into the maths and non-verbal and the verbal side of the 11 plus exam preparation. Uh, Coming to our products which are available on our website, and the very important products are 11 plus maths past paper along with the detailed solution, hints. Also we do have GL specific papers on our website, and all these papers, they are curated by 11 plus exam experts. So the way we are going to structure our webinar is, first we will go through the PowerPoint presentation first, and at the end there will be a question and answer session, Q&A session. You can post all your questions on our Zoom chat. Even the webinar is going on, you can still post your questions. We have our support team here in the webinar, and they will keep answering your questions on the chat. And at the end, I will pick up all the questions and we will go through those questions one by one. So I will pass on this webinar now to Luis. So Luis, on to you. And I will jump in the middle for the math session. Yeah. Thank you, Luis.
Brilliant. Thank you, Preeti, and good afternoon, everybody. As Preeti said, my name is Lois. I have been working with PiAcademy for several years, working as their 11 plus English tutor, and so this is something I've got plenty of experience with. So as I always say, if there are questions specifically relating to English preparation, comprehension, creative writing, please do put them in the chat and I can answer them at the end of the session today. So I'll just share my screen. So here we are. So as Preeti said, we've got quite a few things to cover today. We're going to talk about briefly the core subjects for the 11 plus exam, looking at some of the exam boards so that you know which ones your student might be, your child might be taking, how to assess your child's readiness at this point in the year. We're going to look at some common preparation mistakes. We will be walking through a time-tested planner, the 6-month planner for you to use to have very efficient preparation at this point, and then the information about selecting your target school and looking at catchment areas. So we'll start off by just quickly talking about the 11 plus exam. So as I'm sure most of you will know, the 11 plus exam is used by grammar and independent schools as part of getting students into year 7. Now, as you can see there, the dates for independent and grammar school, the actual exam times are a little different. So for grammar schools, it's always in September and in the early autumn, whereas for independent schools, it will be in January. So if you are preparing for a grammar school, there's about 6 months left at this particular point in the year. Now, all of the main 4 subjects are English, maths, verbal reasoning, and non-verbal reasoning. We are going to focus most on English and maths today. But it's worth checking if the school that you are going to is going to be actually taking those subjects, because some will do all 4, some will do just English and maths, some do just English, maths and VR. So just make sure that you are checking fairly regularly with the school that you are applying for, that they are doing the specific subjects that you can expect, because every school is slightly different in terms of what they want to test. So just check your school's website to make sure that you know which exam board they're doing, which format it will be, and the subjects that they are testing. Now, there are around four main exam boards that schools use across the UK. As you can see, the one that is most commonly used is GL, Granada Learning, and there's a large percentage of schools across the UK who are using that one for grammar schools. So it's most likely that it will be that board that you'll be your student will be facing. There are some slightly smaller ones. There is CSSE, which is the Consortium of Selective Schools in Essex. Only 10 schools use this, and obviously in Essex specifically, but it is completely different in terms of its format to GL, so worth knowing if that is the one that you're going to be taking. The SET test is different again. This is the selective eligibility test. Only a few schools use it. But as I said before, the format's slightly different. This one, I'll show you an example of a paper in just a second, but it has a slightly different format in terms of the texts that students, I'm speaking for English specifically, in terms of the text that they are supposed to answer about. There's more comparative, which isn't something that's present in the other boards. So just be aware of that. And then finally, you have FSCE, Future Stories Community Enterprise. There's only very few small schools who use that, or a small amount. Now, if you're doing an independent school, it will likely be that you will follow the ISEB board, or because independent schools are independent, they may have their own exam paper that they choose. So just be aware. Check, fairly regularly, make sure that you know which exam board your child will be facing. So I'll talk a little bit now about English and some of the challenging topics that are worth being aware of at this particular point. So I'm going to go through 4 areas for you. If you are aware of these areas now, you can start working on them so your child is well prepared for when the exam does come round. Now, the first challenging area for English is explaining vocabulary in context. This is something that I find with students that I work with. If they come across a challenging word in the text, they will just take a wild guess as to what it means. They won't actually look at the way it's been used. So they need to know how to read a word within its context, which obviously means look at the rest of the sentence and use the other information you've been given to lead towards the understanding of that word. And other things like knowing the root of the word can be really useful for this. So here's a quick example of this question. You get a passage from the text, which says, in this case, John was a brusque man, tall and harsh. He only ever told the truth, even if it would hurt your feelings. So here, you've got the word brusque that you need to explain, and you would use the rest of the information in the sentence. He only ever told the truth, even if it would hurt your feelings, tall, harsh. That information can lead you to narrow down the answers and identify that the answer would be blunt. He's a blunt man who's willing to be honest, even if it hurts. So this is the kind of question that's really worth practicing at this early stage, vocab in context. Secondly, another challenging area for English is inference. And I think students often struggle with this because it requires a level of looking below the surface and not reading just directly what the text states. So essentially, inference it requires you to look at clues that you've been given and identify a meaning that hasn't been explicitly stated, but of course not to go to a too extreme or a too far-fetched level, which sometimes students can do. So here's an example of the question. This question says, the writer says that women footballers have played against a backdrop of hostility. What does she mean by this? And so you would need to infer again against the word backdrop. Are they referring to a literal backdrop, or are they using it more metaphorically? And so you would look through the options and decide backdrop means a sense of something that's always happened, something that's been in the background all of their career. Hostility, use your understanding of the word, what it means to be hostile, and then you'd be able to narrow down that the answer would be E. Women in football have always experienced some kind of mistreatment or inequality. So inference is a challenging area. You can practice it by asking students questions about what they've learned about a character based on what's been said in the text rather than what's been outwardly stated. It does take a bit of practice, but once you're able to nail it by identifying clues in the text, it will really help their comprehension skills overall. So those are the 2 areas for comprehension. I'll mention 2 things for creative writing that are worth being aware of at this stage as well. The first thing for creative writing is a lack of planning. Now, I'll quickly mention that not all 11 plus exams include creative writing, only some, and obviously if the school is conducting a creative writing section, they will of course inform you on their website. It is actually more typically independent schools that will use a creative writing section, but again, worth checking the school. But if they are being offered or asked to do creative writing, these are some things to be aware of. So lack of planning is massive. It's very obvious when a student has not planned what they're writing. And examiners like to see that you've taken some time to actually think about what you're writing. So what we suggest that you do, if you look on the right of the screen here, is you practice getting used to a plan, a clear plan. You have beginning, middle, and end. This is a very versatile way of planning that can basically work for descriptions. It can work for stories. It can even work for letters and speeches if you have 3 sections where you're arguing your points. And for each section, you write down what you're going to talk about there. You even mention some of the techniques you're going to use. For example, in our plan there, in the beginning, we've mentioned we're going to use an oxymoron. In the middle, we've said we're going to use sensory description. So if students can get used to this doesn't have to take very long, 5 minutes maximum, then the overall effect and structure of their story will be so much better. You can always tell when a student hasn't planned. So that's one thing to know for creative writing. And then finally, the last thing I'll mention is the not following a checklist issue that we often see. And we have created some checklists for you to use in creative writing. Now, of course, you're not going to use these in the exam. You just use them while you're practicing so you get used to the things that you include. So our creative writing checklist, they go through all the things you need to remember. So talk about the structure. Has it been well structured? Does it have a clear beginning, middle, and end? And this will help you to structure it effectively. Have you written the right amount? So there's a section about writing structure. How do you use longer paragraphs and link them together? It also talks about sentence structure, reminding you to start your sentences in different ways and using a range of sentence types. There's also a checklist there for punctuation, which is a big thing to enhance your writing. Other things to remind you of, it reminds you to include vocabulary. It reminds you to talk about language techniques and the 5 senses and figurative language. It's all listed there for you. And it gets you to reminds you at the end to check that your spelling is correct, that your tenses are correct, and that your grammar is accurate too. So of course, you don't have to use this, you won't be able to use this in an exam, but if your child can use this checklist after every task that they do, you'll be able to see where the missing sections are. You can say, okay, well, I keep forgetting to do that, or I keep missing this bit off, or I've got those ones down, but I need to remember this. This will really help students to have that already embedded in their mind when they're writing, so they know that they're including all the right things. So I think those are all the things that I'll cover. So I'll hand back over to Preeti now, and I'll answer any questions about English at the end. So over to you, Preeti.
Thank you so much, Louis. Very, very helpful information. And yeah, I will take over for going through much more details about the math subject for the 11 plus exam. And I will also cover how you are going to prepare yourself to be in the catchment area for all these top ranking grammar schools. So here we go. I will go to the maths things first. Like exactly what Lewis said, there are some kind of challenging topics in the maths. You can see on our slide geometry, angles, and triangles. So such type of questions the children should be very aware of. They must know all the terminologies used in the question. When they are answering any type of these difficult topic questions, they need to make sure that they are underlining the keywords in the question, and the most importantly, the language of the question and the format of the answer they need to write on their answer sheet. So this is one of the challenging topic for maths. Likewise, the number theory, like sequences, as you can see, there are a lot of questions coming in the grammar school exam which are based on the number theory. You can see here N5 means add up the first 5 continuing numbers, so on and so on. So you can have a look at these type of questions in particular when you are applying for the grammar schools. Move on. The most difficult topic from my last 10 years of experience is the algebra. and many students, they struggle to answer these questions. The important reason for that is most of the children, they do not understand the language of the question. Sometimes you may see that your child is struggling with English, and that affects their understanding towards understanding the maths questions as well. So please try to focus on the algebra questions, which are heavily worded, so that your child can make sure the algebra topic is mastered properly. And I will come to that point anyway. We do have a lot of topic wise questions, and we are covering all these very difficult topic questions on our website under the subscription. I will walk you through where you can find these difficult topic questions. Yeah, similarly, the word problem, as I exactly said in my previous slide, that the word problem is the most difficult area. Many students, they find out. Move on. Account. So the main question which normally the parent asks us, like, how can I assess my child's current ability? So the most important thing is, now we are in the month of almost February mid, and we expect as a tutor that the child should start solving the low difficulty level of papers. So in order to assess your child's ability, I would strongly recommend you to take any full length paper and give it to your child to solve it under the timed condition. Then, as you can see, separating the question, sub-question, skill-wise for English paper and topic-wise paper. Prepare an assessment report and check with the topics the child is struggling with. And we do have a sample assessment report as well. So there are a couple of ways by which, we can do this assessment. We normally ask parent to book our assessment, and once we start assessing the child, we write this report. As you can see that in this report, we try to cover all the topics which comes under the 11 plus exam. We are also recording the marks, and we are also recording where your child had scored partial marks and where your child went completely wrong. At the end, you will see our feedback, which covers each and every topic which we have tested during the assessment. And we will also give you our own recommendations, like what things you must be doing in order to nail the difficult topics, or in order to nail the topics where your child has lost the mark. Likewise, we do have the English assessment report. We clearly mention what type of question it was, how much marks your child had scored. We also give you in this report the tutor's comment. Now, the critical part of the English assessment is longer questions. I think somebody has asked me the same question. I would like to answer while I'm going through this. So when they are answering the questions related with the comprehension, they need to ensure, your child need to ensure that the number of the marks and the length of the answer is properly balanced. As you can see here in our report, we also figure it out, your child's ability to understand the PIL techniques in the comprehension part of the assessment, and we document it very thoroughly. Louis runs this assessment quite a lot of times with many of the students. We also cover the comprehension, creative writing part, and also the SPAC part during this assessment. We can send you this copy of the PDF in our email. You can go through the report, how we are making these reports. And I would strongly suggest, even though your child is taking the tutoring or going to a lot of other tutoring institutes, I would strongly suggest you to carry on this assessment from any third person who doesn't know your child, and this will help you out to figure it out the weak areas of your child. Because keep it in mind that we have hardly 6 months from March onwards, and if you know exactly where your child is struggling, what topics he is struggling with, you can have a very precise plan in order to master those topics, and your child's score can be increased. Yeah, moving back to our presentation here. So how can I assess my child's current ability? Exactly what I said. You can book our diagnostic assessment as well, in order to get more understanding about about the assessment. You can see on our website, under the pricing, we do have a diagnostic assessment. You can book this diagnostic assessment through our website, and you will get a very concise report of your child's ability. Also, I have mentioned in my previous slides that there are a lot of difficult topics in the maths. And as you can see on 11 plus paper, we do do have 11 plus maths topic wise paper, which you can subscribe to. And these topics are covering all the difficult topics. As you can see on the right hand side, there are the word problems. There are typically the algebra questions, typically the sequences and the series question, LCM, HCF question. Please note that these papers, these are the past papers, and if you master these topics with your child's percentage will definitely go up. These are all exam questions, and the way we have solved it is highly exam oriented. So you can see beside every question, there is an answer, there is a timing given for each question, how much time your child should take to answer this question. And each question is associated with lots of tags. So you can see when it comes to the word problem, why children are struggling, because they are not able to interpret or comprehend the questions correctly to come to the correct answer. And these topic wise will definitely help you in order to get a more detailed understanding about the difficult topics. Do not leave the typical difficult topics unattended. Because if you are not practicing the questions with these difficult topics, the children are more likely to lose the marks in the 11 plus exam. So you see, we do have the statistics 451 questions and algebra 967 questions. It's a huge question bank, and every question is given, it's provided with the detailed stepwise answer. You can browse our website for other products as well. As I said, if you hover on Akanksha, if you hover on 11 plus papers, you will see we do have maths past paper topic wise, English papers, verbal reasoning. We do have literary devices test paper. That's the biggest area where many children they struggle. We do have vocab, we do have creative writing, comprehension, and most importantly, we do have the video courses. These are amazing courses. They are coming along with the test papers and lots of worksheets. So you can check the videos on our website on the top, just beside the 11 plus tuition, you see the video courses. And we do have a full package of these video courses, and we exactly come up with all these video courses where most of the children they struggle. So this will really be helpful for you. Yeah, Akanksha, we can go back. Um, So what are the common mistakes, the parents, especially the parent, because children are very, very young. So what mistakes parent they make? So basically there is no planning, not giving enough time or importance to the high mark topics, not taking regular assessment to track the progress of the child, solving papers too early without considering the difficulty level of the paper. Many parents, they become anxious and all of a sudden they start giving students the difficult papers, but this is not the time to master the difficult papers, because we are just in March. You must start with the low difficulty papers. I will come to my planners very soon. The other important factor is lack of structured tutoring with quality resources. Many parents think that my child is attending the tuition center and that's it, my duties are over, but you need to ensure that there is a structured tutoring and they are using the quality resources, because 11 plus exam is highly competitive and the success rate is no more than 5%. So you can imagine why it is important to have the structured tutoring along with the quality resources. Solving too many papers instead of reflecting on the previous mistakes. So never ever do this mistake. Yeah, even if you solve 10 papers with your child, it's sufficient as long as you are looking or going over the mistakes, document those mistakes properly and revisit those mistakes again and again throughout the year. Attempting too many mocks rather than building on the weak areas. Many parents think that my child is attending 15-20 mocks. Please keep it in mind. These number or the quantification of attempting the mock is not going to help you and your child, because it's more than the quantity, it's about the quality. So even if your child is attempting 2 mocks, it's perfectly fine as long as you are going over the weak areas which are coming through the assessment of the mock. Yeah, move on. So these are the 11 plus exam strategies which we normally share with all the parents. Week 1 to week 8, topic wise practice with focus on difficult topics. Then from week 9 to week 24, past paper practice under the timed conditions, and 25 to 36 practice papers and mock with focus on exam board. So what we are going to do, when you will get our email, you will also get the slides of this presentation along with the planner. And you can go take your own time to understand our website, our planners. You can see here in this Excel spreadsheet, which we are sending out to you, you can see we have structured this planner. This planner is created through my more than 10 years of experience. So you can definitely trust on this planner and follow each and everything which we have documented here. You can see the week number, you can also see the subject, and you can see all the relevant links which will help you out. So it's very, very thoughtfully crafted planner. You can take a time to go through it. Yeah. Move on, Akanksha. So this is all about our 11 plus exam planner. So now the main question is like how you are going to select your target school. And you need to keep it in mind that there are a lot of considerations the parent has to make. The first consideration is the financial commitment. So some parents, they come to us as a to take the consultancy, like what sort of school is suitable for our child. It totally depends upon your financial commitment. Some parents, they just want the grammar school, which is a non-fee paying school. Some parents, they are open to choose either a grammar or an independent. We will also go through the grammar school versus private and the independent school, how to choose a catchment area. And the thing which I'm going to walk you through is my other company, which is a school uni guide, where we are addressing all the guidance, or where we are giving the full guidance to all the parents about the schools, what type of tutoring agencies they can use. So this is a proper guide website. As you can see, the name of the website, which is schooluniguide.com. So we are here to help many parents who are struggling with all these questions, because we get so many questions like how we going to show the school, how we going to select the school. So we, on this website, we are having a comparison of the school. So you can compare grammar schools versus independent schools. You can search any school information on this website. We are also providing the lot of guidance like how you can nail the exam or the registration process for any of the school. I will walk you through very quickly, step by step. So you can see here on our mega menu, on the top, you will see the schools. If you hover on the schools, you will have a grammar school, independent school, boarding school, and the state school. I will just have a walk through the grammar school. So you can see here, these are all of the grammar schools. You can select the local authority where you are staying. Say, for example, we can select here the Barnet. And we can also select the grammar schools, which is, so you can see here all the grammar schools within the Barnet, they are here. Now I will show you what each school information is available to you to see. So let's have a look at the Henrietta Barnet School, which is a very, very popular school. You can see we kept the full guide of the Henrietta Barnet here. So you can have an introduction about Henrietta Barnet, who is the principal, who is the headmaster, and all that. You can also see all the dates which are required for any school to start application, registration, attending the open days and mornings and everything. You can see all the sample papers here. You see on the top, we have also produced the GCSE and A-level results, which is really important for any parent to choose the school, particular school for their child, because what is the quality of the school, that is that you can detect it with their GCSE and A-level results. We do have a catchment area, because this is a very, very common question coming from every parent, that what could be the catchment area, where do we need to stay. So you can see for every school, you will see there is a catchment area. Of course, it is applicable. And you will see the most pupils, some pupils, few pupils, everything here. You can also see Ofsted report of the school, the community, the jobs, and frequently asked questions. So these are the Ofsted report questions. You can check all the internal pages of our schools by searching it on the website itself. Now, I often get a lot of questions about the comparing the two schools. So I will show you very quickly how you can compare the two schools side by side. So for example, if you want to compare a QB Boys School with the Henrietta Barnett School, we are giving here a fair comparison for all the schools. So the information or the comparison is segregated as per the school information. You can also compare the exam patterns. You can also compare the results. You can also compare the extracurricular activities which these schools are having, fees and scholarships, so on and so on. So you can see all the comparisons of any schools in the UK on our website. And moving on to I will show you one more comparison here. Yeah, so yeah, you can also compare the independent school with the grammar school. So you will see a very clear-cut comparison on this. This will help many parents to make a informed decision about what schools they should try for. So you can see here the most important thing in all these comparisons is the A level and the GCSE result, and we kept the full data available side by side, so you can take the decision like what school benefits your child. You can also add one more school. So we are currently presenting the 3 schools comparison. You can browse this website. This is also my company like PiAcademy, but this website will help you to nail your 11 plus exam journey. We are providing lot of guidances here, lot of articles here, lot of blogs here, so you can come and browse. And in today's webinar, we kept this website open. You can go and register on this website. You can also save all your comparisons into your dashboard. You can also save the important pages which you like it in this dashboard. So this is something that you can get a lot of information from this website. We do have 27,000 schools right now on the website. You can do the comparison, you can do the searching, you can get all the information related with the schools. And please do give us a feedback, because we are still building this website, and I always work on the parents' questions, and we try to answer those questions through our website. So feel free to send your feedback. If you would like to add something onto our website, we are very open to add those elements on this website. Our entire aim is to help the parents to choose their dream school, to get a lot of information about that school. I will also show you very quickly that we have also onboarded a lot of tutoring companies. You can go and read much more details about them under our exam prep section. So you will see here we have a lot of other companies who are providing 11 plus tuition, who do have a lot of websites. You can take the entire help from here also. So that's the best thing about this website, that this is a guidance website. This is a proper guide to every parent who is going through this 11 plus exam journey. And this is all pretty much about this website. We are sending the link of this website in the Zoom chat. Please browse this website thoroughly and log in and save your searches and try to give us the feedback so that we can refine this website more and more and more. The most important thing is many parents, they ask us a question that I live in this local authority, say for example, Barnet, what are the schools available for me? And here you can see the best secondary schools in the entire Barnet. You can read the detailed information of any school by clicking on read more, and you can compare any school with any school in this website. The most common question which many parents ask is, this school is good for my child? Is the area is safe? And we kept here the crime rates associated in that area. So you see, this is the crime rate. You can check all the crime rates, and when you are sending or when you are making a decision, we do have all the pupils' ethnicities, which students are there in that school. Along with that, we have a lot of pupils' languages, we have cohort size. So please keep browsing all our pages. We try our best to answer all of the parents' questions through this website. But if we have missed anything, please do feel free to let us know, and we will incorporate all your feedback. in this website. So bookmark this website, and whenever you need some sort of guidance, by all means, you can visit on this website. Coming back to PiAcademy. So in today's webinar, we are offering a 30% discount. You can buy any subscription from our website. We are also launching the half-term courses, which starting today, and even all the half-term courses is having a 30% discount just for today. So if you come tomorrow, this discount is no more valid. This discount code which we are offering, webinar 30, is valid only for today. You can buy whatever you like to from this entire website. It's off with 30% discount. And now we will be starting taking the Q&A session. I can see here a lot of questions coming. And here we go. Is the CEM in one of these categories? Yes, CEM is one of the exam board under 11 plus exam, but most of the schools are now moving from CEM to GL. So please check what pattern the school which you wish to apply is having. This question is particularly, maybe Luis can answer this better. Should comprehension questions be answered using PEAL?
Great question. Thank you for that. I would say yes, but only certain ones. So PEAL, for those of you who don't know, stands for point, evidence, explain, and link. It's a way of structuring a more descriptive and more analytical answer. So this is only going to apply if you get a question perhaps in a written comprehension exam. Obviously this is going to be irrelevant for multiple choice, but it's a written comprehension exam where the question is worth 3 marks or more, and it's an analytical question. So it might be something like, how does the writer create atmosphere in this paragraph? Or what impression do you get of this character? Or what mood is created in the text? Or something like that. So it's where you're actually being asked to find evidence in the text. Yes, if it's a longer question, usually around, I would say 3 marks is a good amount for one PEEL, if you want to add the L on, answer. So only use it for analytical questions where you're having to explain in more detail. So I hope that answers the question. And it's definitely something that you don't need for every single question. You just need it for the ones where there's more marks on offer. And yeah, you're explaining yourself in more detail. So I hope that answers that.
That's great, Louis. And in the similar note, you will find all these techniques which child should master in the comprehension or in our video course. So you can find all the video courses on our website. Thank you, Louis. I will move on to the next question. This question is coming from Deep. How are the catchment area for the grammar school calculated? I'm looking for Tiffin Girls School for my child. Great, that's a good question. I will answer this question. So as you can see here, there is a Tiffin Girls School catchment area guide. You can have a look at this catchment area guide. You can also see the national rank. You can see whether the school is boarding type or not, what is a gender, how many total students are there, and the most importantly, the catchment area. You can also have a look at for last year, how many pupils went into that particular school from which distance. So you can see most pupils, some pupils, and the few pupils. You can check the catchment area here. In addition to the catchment area, we try to help many parents by showing them the crime rate in that area, who is the community, and what are the nearby schools. So let's, for example, if this school does not suit your child, you can also have a look at the nearby schools to this area. Coming to the next question from Ahmed, will we be able to do the comparison between grammar schools versus independent school? I think I have already answered that question, but just have a quick look. So QV Boys is a grammar school, and also the City of London is the independent school. You can compare any school as Akanksha is showing you here. You can have all the comparisons here. The beauty of these comparison is we try to cover each and every question which normally the parent asks us, covering all the exam board, GCSE A level results, extracurricular fees, and scholarships. There is a one more question from the parent regarding, maybe this question, Luis, you need to answer, regarding vocabulary. Should the child be memorizing a number of words a week? I have seen recommended 20 words weekly. how can we make these stick? How can we make these stick? What kinds of words do they need to learn? I find my child struggling with vocab.
Okay, so this is a great question, and yeah, a lot of parents ask this. I'm going to be honest, you are never going to learn all the words. I mean, that's just impossible. So you have to give yourself a realistic, level to aim for. A couple of things to mention. First of all, I would say set what is realistic for your child each week. If they want to do a word of the day or 2 words of the day or something like that, rather than a big trying to learn 20 in a week, that I honestly think 20 in a week is too many. I don't think that students will be able to retain and understand and be able to use those words. 20 feels like, I think, too many personally for them to actually understand how they are used. I have some students who learn loads of words and then they don't know how to actually use them. So you need to actually be making sure that they know how to use the words, because just knowing and recognizing the word is not going to actually help improve your vocabulary. So that's one thing. Secondly, it's much, much better to do a wider range of reading rather than just focusing on words, because that's going to mean you actually expand your vocabulary more kind of passively without having to seek out a list of words and then try and memorize them. That's memorizing is always kind of a challenge. So try and work it into more practical ways of actually that are going to actually stick. So vocabulary through books and audiobooks can also be really good to expand vocabulary. I would also say for vocabulary, as I mentioned before, what they really need to build is their ability to understand a word in the context of the sentence, because actually it doesn't matter if you've learned 50 words or 100 words. If there's one word that you don't know, you're not going to know what the sentence means. So you need to have those strategies to be able to actually try and figure out the meaning of a word based on how it's been used in a sentence. Of course, you're never going to know every single word, but if you can teach them to start building their vocabulary without just looking up the word, looking at the rest of the sentence to see how it's been used, that's also a really useful skill. So things that you can also do, if you're talking about the types of words, as you mentioned in your question, I would say types of words to focus on if you want to expand their vocab, like it should really be like adjectives and descriptive words that they can use in their writing. So you can start with a simple word in the middle and kind of create a mind map, or expanding out and out and out for more ambitious words that kind of link to, you could have good in the middle, for example, and then kind of create a map around that. So I would say that's a kind of something, if you want to build a particular area of vocabulary, start with descriptions. But as I said, try and be realistic and don't expect your child to be able to learn and understand 20 words a week. That is going to be too many, and they won't actually retain and be able to use it practically. So be realistic, do it more practically, and make sure that they have the vocabulary and context skill as well. So I hope that gives some strategies as to how to help. Now, as you can see on the screen, we do actually have lots of places, lots of resources that you can use for vocab on the website, for a range of different sort of topics of vocabulary here. So this is something that you can also be doing. We've got like test papers that cover different kind of categories of vocab. So root words, prefixes, suffixes, and inferring meanings, which is really useful. Vocabulary in clothes, animals, plants, and foods, senses. So this is another thing you can do to kind of test your knowledge of words as well. So try and do these more practical activities rather than just having a list of words that don't really mean anything outside of the context of a text. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I won't say anything more. I'll leave it there.
Okay, thank you, Louise. So yeah, you can try our vocabulary papers, fact papers, comprehension, and the creative writing. That consolidation and practicing these 4 styles will help you to increase the vocabulary. So vocabulary is like a very tricky area for many students, as Louise said. And the only thing which you can nail this area by consistent reading. We do have a reading club, by the way, and you can join our reading club if your child's vocabulary is not that effective. We do have a reading club here. We are sending you the link of our reading club in the chat, because this is something we run twice in a week, and it gives your child a thorough understanding about how to build the vocabulary. It's 45-minute session, but this session takes place in a group, and the tutor is amazing. I'm sure your child will enjoy the consistency in reading by joining this group. And we are sending you, Renuka, send the link of this reading club to the parents. There is a one question here from the, I think regarding vocabulary, we have addressed that question now. Some independent use CEM, and there is a question from HS. Some independent use CEM and grammars GL. Can we just use material from one type board, or do we need to use the questions from both boards? CGP have worded problem books for both boards, so would we need to use both? This is really good question, and many parents ask the same question again and again. It's not about the board, CEM or the GL. At the end of the day, 11 plus exam syllabus is going to be the same. It's just the format of the question paper. So GL is having multiple choice, and CEM where the questions and answers are more open-ended. But at the end of the day, you must know, your child must know the 11 plus exam syllabus. And that's why you can see on the screen here, we have 11 plus math salt past papers. All these papers, they are from the independent schools. But because as everybody knows, grammar school will never ever publish any kind of a past papers. So you can use these resources. Don't worry about whether it is a CEM board or the GL board, because at the end of the day, 11 plus exam syllabus is going to be the same. So when your child is applying for the grammar school and when it is a GL board, I would strongly suggest you to start working on the exam pattern, maybe post May or June. Don't focus on the exam pattern, because this is a time where your child should get exposed to all sort of papers, including CEM, including GL, including independent schools. So do not restrict yourself on any particular exam board. That's my important note to all the parents through my more than 10 years of experience. Parents who focus only on GL or focus only on CEM and trying to do only those papers, that will never ever help. Yeah. So that's all about. Moving on. Some independent, yeah, I think I have addressed that. My child is in ninth grade now. Can she already start with her preparation for target to get into grammar school? I don't think so, because this exam, as the name suggests, it's for 11 plus, means the child age should be 11 years old. But well, there might be some of the schools which may have in-year admission. You need to check with the school. As your half-term course is live, or are they recorded videos? Is there pupil interaction? Of course, there is a pupil interaction. Our all half-term courses are in person online. It's a live tutoring. Your child can raise a hand and our tutors will answer the question. So it's a highly interactive session. How do we know the syllabus for 11 plus English? There is on our website, we do have many papers, and this entire syllabus is covered. When it comes to 11 plus English syllabus, there is no typical syllabus for 11 plus English, but what do they cover is comprehension, creative writing, spelling, punctuation, and grammar. And also some schools, they cover English part of the verbal reasoning. So if you go through 11 plus English past papers, SPAC papers, vocabulary papers, creative writing, this all is a syllabus. There is a question. The question is from Hannah. My daughter has started the easy level maths and English papers from your planner. She is getting average 65 on English and around 75 average in maths. What kind mark should be getting on the easy level papers? Her 11 plus exam is difficulty level hard on your planner. It is an independent school she is going to take the exam for. So 65 to 75% score at this point of time is fine. She should be scoring higher for the low difficulty paper. But as I said, I gave a very important tip to all the parents. Don't just solve the papers. Go over with all the wrong questions which your child is making. So please follow that tip. I'm sure her score will be increased a lot. You can see in our planner, you can record all the marks, you can record the percentage, you can record all the wrong answers, weak topics. So if you follow our planner and do not miss out any of the spaces given in this planner, her score will definitely go up. It's all time and tested planner. Is the CSSE syllabus, there is a question from Chris Joseph, is the CSSE syllabus similar to GL? My son is preparing for 2 grammar schools with CSSE and one with GL. He is currently in year 4. He is currently focusing on GL. When should we start preparing for the differences? Yeah. So again, I think this is a partial mistake with all the parents they make. He is in year 4, so you should not specifically practice only CEM, GL, CSSE or whatnot. As I said, you should only focus on the format of the exam board close to the exam. So he must practice each and everything. Do not just focus only on GL or just focus only on CSSC. That is not going to help. You need to focus on 11 plus exam syllabus. That's it. The exam format comes close to the exam. So that's it. Start with I think I have covered pretty much all the papers, all the questions from this Q&A session. But by all means, if any of the parents are having any question, please drop us on our support line and we are more than happy to answer. As I said, there is a 30% discount in across the entire site, so you can buy your courses. All the courses are taught they are taught face to face, so nothing is recorded. It's a highly interactive session. We are sending you our courses link in the Zoom chat. You can book it with 30% discount today. I hope you like this webinar, and also you got a lot of guidance. As I said, you can keep visiting our website, which is schooluniguide.com, if you have any type of guidance question. And when you want to buy something for the preparation like past papers, you can visit PiAcademy. I wish everyone lovely Saturday. Thank you, Louis, and thank you all PiAcademy's team for making this webinar successful. And I wish all the parents good luck for the 11 plus exam prep. Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.